Before we get started, I just want to say we hired a new sound engineer today.
Yeah, it still doesn't have an undergraduate degree, but
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about explicitly how we negotiate car deals via email. Like that's the title of the video. And that's all we're going to talk about, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, we do struggle with staying on topic.
Yes.
So a little bit different style. We're gonna put up on the screen in a minute here the laptop that you're seeing right here, and my dad and I are gonna walk you through like some real life examples of how we've done this in the past for people when we used to work on their behalf. So I guess without further ado, you can drive with either the.
No, I'm not driving.
All right, I'll drive. I've got a mouse over here.
Yeah, you're driving.
So why don't we start with this one, Dad? So
okay.
Maybe like set the stage, who you're working for, what you were doing.
Okay, well we had a customer who was looking for a Honda Odyssey with the touring package in a specific color in the Philadelphia, South Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania area. So there are a number of Honda dealers in that area, and I figured I should reach out to a bunch of them, and I did. And basically, as you can see, this first email is how I started the conversation with every dealership that I had emailed to. And if you'd like, I'll read it real quickly. Or
I don't know if you have to read the whole thing verbatim, but maybe like what are the key points that you try and make in these intro emails when you're sending them to?
I let them know who I am, what I've done, so that they can have a little bit of background about what I know about the industry. I would always let them know that the only way we're compensated was by our customers, that we didn't want anything from the dealership other than them taking good care of our client and offering them a very competitive price. I would also let them know the zip code where the customer lived, that what exactly we were looking for, the time frame in which we were looking to do it, and the fact that we were willing to perhaps do it sooner if the deal warranted doing it sooner, and that I wanted an out-the-door price with a breakdown of all the fees so that I could share that with the client, and that we would be reaching out to dealers within a 75-mile radius.
And you also mentioned in this one the loyalty. So most manufacturers offer loyalty benefits or other type of incentives. So you mentioned that, so the dealer was aware.
Yes.
Now if you don't mind, can we break this down just a little bit? Because if you're watching this video, you can't say, I've spent the past 43 years in the car business. Here's a link to my website.
Well, you could just be a lie, but you.
So, like, let's see. Can we translate that for something that an individual could use that helps them build credibility as well when they're reaching out to a dealer? You used to receive these emails. What should someone say to help build credibility?
Or they could say that I have been watching on YouTube the videos from.
Your auto advocate.
From your auto advocate. Here's their website, so you can have some idea as to who they are and what they've been trying to teach us, the buying public. You could do it that way.
Yeah.
And that might lend more credibility than just saying, well, I'm out looking for a car, I'm going to search 75-mile radius, because they don't know who the hell you are, and they don't know if you're really serious. But if you reference somebody that's been in the industry, that might lend some credence to what it is you're trying to do.
Because the whole idea behind this initial email is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's be friendly.
Yes.
Be credible.
Yes.
Make it clear what you're interested in.
Yes.
And make it clear the information that would impact your out-the-door price, i.e., your zip code for the taxes, title, and registration, and also any incentives that you might qualify for.
Yes.
And you're also almost setting expectations with the dealer, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be contacting other dealers, or I already have contacted other dealers."
I'm reaching out to other dealers, and if you're interested, I would need you to be competitive in your response to me. Now, I will tell you that I believe there were about 8 or 10 dealers in the area that I emailed, and I believe I really had conversations with 4 out of that group.
So it's not like you're going to hear back from all of them.
Well, if you do, it would shock me to all hell, because either they've decided, some dealerships have decided they just don't want to be involved in anything like this, or they're just not equipped to be able to deal with customers that are asking for specific information like this, and so rather than doing it, they just don't respond at all.
All right, so then let's take a look at some of the, this is the email thread. We took a screenshot of the email thread.
Yes.
So let's scroll up. So you sent one of these emails to an individual named Brian over
Yes.
at Burns Honda. So
Yes.
so walk us through this, Dad.
So, as you can see, the quote did reflect the $1,000 loyalty rebate, and he gave me a complete breakdown of their vehicle with what they install on the vehicle, and you can see there was a discount of $6,156, which seems pretty sizable on a car of 46 grand. So, and he broke down all the fees for me. Now, what I did is, don't tell anybody, but I took that and I forwarded it to other dealers to say, okay, what can you do?
Yeah.
So that we could create a competition of sorts to see who might want to win the competition. But Brian, God bless him, he was kind enough and gracious enough to give me the complete breakdown the way I had asked for it. And not all dealers are willing to do that, but that scored big points for me.
And should you expect that dealers will actually give you this breakdown?
Well, should you expect it? Yes. Should you?
Will you receive it? Let me rephrase.
More than likely not.
Okay, so you've got to work to get this out.
Yes, yes. You have to. I mean, I don't want you to think that I sent the email and this was the first response I got back from Brian. It was not. It was probably the fourth or fifth to finally get to the point, well, I need an exact breakdown of how you got to where you got to.
And you can see in the thread that you then forwarded to me that I screenshotted for today's video, you can then see, you just forwarded this to an individual named Amy.
Yes.
At another dealership. And if we scroll up, we can keep going. So Anthony got involved.
Lots of people have been involved.
Well, because that's part of the reality.
Yes.
Of working people with the dealership.
Well, just to give you some idea on this particular customer, and the dealer that ended up getting the deal, there were close to 50 total emails involved with the dealer that got the deal. And that doesn't include, I don't know, another 20 or 30 emails between the three other dealerships that were involved in trying to get the best price.
Yeah. So maybe the title of this video should simply be, you're gonna, hey Jeff.
Yeah.
You're going to send a lot of emails.
You're gonna wear your fingers to the quick with all the typing you're going to do.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so we can see here, I've been trying since Monday, and we keep going, and then eventually you hear back from Dan, who is the general manager.
General sales manager.
General sales manager.
Yes.
So we keep going, we keep going, and here we go. So then we get the breakdown from this other dealership.
Yes. Which was, well, a much better deal.
Yeah. So I guess I could scroll back down, but the total amount due here was $43,491.
As opposed to $44,000, so it was $700 less.
So this is negotiating via email 101.
Yes,
because Dan, in his own right, wouldn't just outright give you this price unless there was a price to beat.
Well, yeah, that probably would not have been his first offer to me.
Definitely.
But he decided that he wanted the car deal, and he was willing to do whatever it took to get that car deal.
Yeah.
And so he got very, very aggressive. He didn't, well, there was another dealer that matched the first deal.
Yeah.
And I let them know about the deal that I got from Dan, and their response was, we can match, which is what we did that first deal. We're not interested in anything beyond that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And all I asked was, could you match or beat the existing deal?
Yep.
And Dan took it upon himself to become preemptive and say, I'm going to beat it, and I'm not going to beat it by $100 or $200. I'm going to beat it by $700, so that if anybody wants to match it or beat it, they're really not going to make any money on the car deal.
Yeah, he wanted the deal.
He wanted the deal. He wanted to help get to his numbers. And as you can see, I suggested to him that I think
funny, man.
yeah, I think we might have winner chicken dinner here. And as it turned out, we did.
Yeah. And so eventually, you sent this off to the client. Client agreed that let's pull the trigger. Let's go for it. So, and
now, do you want to hear something really funny about all this?
I'd love to.
The client had originally reached out to this dealer a week or so before I did.
Yeah.
And as you know, the client paid us $495.
And just to be clear, we don't do this anymore. Please don't ask us. We don't do this anymore.
We don't do this anymore. But he paid us $495 to do this. So, as it turned out, not only was this deal $700 better than that other dealer, it was $1,400 better than the first number he got from them working on his own.
Yep. That's
so awesome. You can work the same dealer many times.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're necessarily abdicating that you should create like fake email accounts.
Don't do that.
Don't necessarily do that. But I mean, you can work dealers against one. It's a reverse auction. That's what it is.
And you just keep asking.
Yep.
Is this really the best? What can you do? Is there anything you might be able to throw in to sweeten it? It might even be just a hat. Who knows? A keychain, but just something to show that you're committed to really wanting to get this deal. Now, obviously, this was towards the end of May, I believe.
Middle of May, it looks like.
Middle of May, and they needed this to get to their numbers for the month. And there's an email from Dan stating that, hey, this is an ugly deal. We're not making any money, but the hope is that you'll be able to steer other deals our way from your business in the future, so that it's worth it to us to establish you as working for other clients.
Which, again,
we don't do it anymore.
So sorry, Dan.
But if somebody from the South Jersey, Philadelphia area emailed us and said, gee, could you recommend a Honda dealer that's fair and will work with us? By all means, I would recommend Piazza Honda of Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
And let's put that back into the perspective of what our audience can do. You can talk about how you're going to refer other people. You can talk about how you're going to service your car there. You can talk about how you're going to leave a 5-star review.
Those are all things that are important to the deal.
That's the bit of leverage, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so just to show another example, I mean, this email that my dad's talking about, I mean, he sent it out a dozen times, and got 4 responses back. So it's and we're putting it up on the blog. I'll link it down in the description below. Links to a post that has us all written out as well, so you can just copy and paste from there too. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Be friendly, be upfront, state what you need to state, and
be honest.
But then do it across the board with a lot of dealers.
Yes,
okay,
and send the same email to every dealer, so that no dealer is getting a different email than the other. They're all getting the same.
Now, when things get a little bit different is when you're working on a used car. So I've got here an example from the same time period. We were busy at that time.
Yes, we were extremely
working on an under $10,000 2013 Honda Civic. So maybe, Dad, can you walk us through? Yeah, so walk us through, because there were a lot of emails like this that you sent out for this particular.
Oh yes, this was a client who lives in Indianapolis. He's buying a first car for his son. Actually, he'll be picking it up this weekend. And his idea was that, well, he didn't want to buy the car where he lived. He wanted to buy the car somewhere else in America so he and his son could fly there, pick up the car, and then have an adventure and drive it home.
It's pretty awesome.
So that they could have an experience, a memory that would last them a lifetime. So I was tasked with finding a 2013 or perhaps a 2014 Honda Civic LX, black with either tan cloth interior or gray cloth interior, automatic 4-door, with hopefully under 50,000 miles, that would fall into the price range, the budget that they had set up for this. And so I was emailing dealers from California to to New York.
And so I think a lot of people, this story might resonate with them because they do a lot of nationwide searches looking for the best price possible.
Yes.
So talk us through this initial email. I mean, you're doing the same thing, it seems like, building credibility, which again, you can do if you're listening to this video or you're watching this.
Yes.
You can open up your email with, I've been watching videos from Ray Shevska, a former dealer. I understand your process. You know, I want nothing other than just a fair deal, and you know, in exchange for this relationship, here's what I'm looking for, and then you get into
exactly what it is that you're looking for,
and you're upfront with your budget.
Yes, and either they can work with you or they can't work with you, and like most dealers, most never get back to you. Well, and most that do that get back to you say, "Gee, when can you come in for a test drive?" And usually the next email to them that I send is, well, I'm not the client, or I wasn't the client, and I don't live anywhere near you. I'm just trying to get the price for the client.
Okay, but let's put that, I mean, I appreciate where you're coming from, but it's still, again, a business we no longer operate, so we probably shouldn't spend too much time dwelling on that. For our customer, when they get hit with
tell
that,
the customer, as the
no,
customer,
but what do you do?
You just say, hey, I'm shopping price first. I'm not saying that the lowest price is going to win, but I need to get a breakdown of your price. Your willingness to show me the breakdown of your price with your fees would indicate to me whether or not you would be the type of store that I would want to do business with. Are you going to respond to the customer's request, or are you going to ignore it? If you're going to ignore it, then that would say to me that you're not the type of business I want to do business with. So this is your opportunity to show me that you might care about me as a person and as a customer. And send me the information, and if it's within the ballpark that I've set up, then I'll make arrangements with you to come in and take a test drive.
Now, one of the things that I think it's important that we bring up is who the audience is, who we send these emails to, or who we used to send these emails to, versus the idea of, do you just fill out the internet lead and things like that. And I've got a perfect example, this last one here. This is an example of here we go. This is another new car, so sorry, not used. But I was working directly with the general manager, and that's something that I'll say, and I want your feedback on that. I mean, you can work through the internet salesperson, but ultimately the decision maker, like we talked about in the why does the salesperson go to talk to the manager? I mean, the decision maker is the manager. So if you can communicate with them, you're kind of cutting through some of the noise, right?
Yes. I mean, general managers don't really like to get involved in having to negotiate the car deals. That's why they have general sales managers and new car managers and pre-owned car managers. Internet managers are just guys that type better than most or have created templates that their staff can use, and they're not really there to negotiate the price with you so much. But if you can get through to a manager who's it's his department, then they're the ones that are in the position to make the decision. Unless, of course, you're dealing with a negotiation-free selling store where what the price is the price, and whatever salesperson you have, they can do that for you.
And the example here would be, the initial quote was $77,771.
Yeah, Noble liked sevens.
And this was my email. It was super simple. It was, and this was. I mean, sorry, Noble, but I was making it up. I didn't get off the phone with the client. I just came back. No, we need to be $4,000 less, and then we ended up, at $75,000 down here, down at the very bottom. So, I guess the point being that, and that happened over the course of, you can see here, 30 minutes. So if you are communicating with the right person, you're able to make some headway.
Yes.
Also, they have to, like Dan was about Pack Over Piazza, like they have to want the deal.
Yes.
And that goes to your point of you're going to send out 10, 12 of these emails, and you're going to hear back from a third of them.
Yes.
A quarter of them.
Yes.
But that's how you work a deal, and you never have to pick up the phone until towards the end. Then obviously you need to get in touch with the dealer.
And really, once you've agreed that you want to get the car from them, then it's just a question of sending over front and back copies of driver's license, a current insurance card, the registration if you're trading a car, filling out the secure credit application on that dealer's website. And then you set up a time that you're going to come in and pick up the car, and you're there for 30 minutes to an hour.
Yep.
and you're in and you're out, and all the aggravation was just in typing.
Yeah. So I mean, you can negotiate a car deal via email. You can do it over the phone. We had a comment the other day. You can do it via smoke signal.
You probably could. In the old days, we used to, and we would also use carrier pigeon.
No, but I mean, and it's not too terribly complex. It takes a lot of persistence. I think
if it was a gray smoke, we didn't have a deal. If it was the white smoke, we had the deal. Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure when they elect popes. I forget.
Is that a pope thing?
Yeah, that's a pope thing.
I had no clue.
Yeah. Well, of course not.
Yeah, okay. Well, so anyway, we've got the templates back on the website, so you're more than welcome to view them there. Yeah, let us know what else you want to see from us on these types of topics. We're pretty much an open book.
And if I can say, enough of you don't do the things we ask you to do. We just did it. Now, damn it, we're asking you to watch this video, I don't know, a couple 100,000 times. Okay? Prove that this is the right thing for us to do.
Also, I guess we should mention, tomorrow we'll be doing another used car market report. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. Chris can join us. I don't know if we've gotten in touch with him yet, but
I texted him. I haven't heard back.
Well, so we'll do our best tomorrow to provide some updates about the state of the used car market.
Yep. And other than that, I guess, well, we're done.
We're done.
We're OTD.
We're on the road.
Yeah, OTR.
Perfect. Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.